Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. We've got a little side by side today. Good old Molly Rose Brewing. They're out of Collingwood in Melbourne, Victoria. One of my sort of favourite sour breweries in Australia. Good people as well, good venue. There's really good food there. They do some wine and stuff as well. And they're in a cool one thing I love about them, they're in a residential area, so they're very community focused. It'd be the sort of thing if I lived in that area, it'd be my go-to sort of brewery. I'd go there all the time. Yeah, so this series, it's a mixture. I'll read what it says on the first can anyway. So it's known as Tank 5 Blend. A blend of 1-year-old, 2-year-old, and fresh beer. Tank 5 played host to this cracking blend, to which we added leftover botanicals from our pastis, whatever that is, giving it a vermouth like character that plays beautifully with the layers of farmhouse complexity. So the first one, I think they're all based off this first one. First one is 4.7%, and it's known as the spiced sour ale. I don't know what this here is about, not wasted. But yeah. And then you've got 3 variants. Cheers, Lee. How you going, mate? Then you got the 3 variants. So you've got blend number 1, which is it says added fresh raspberry. And that's 4.9%, so slightly higher. And then you've got the addition of blackberries, number 2, and that's 4.9 as well. And then you've got the addition of blueberries, 4.9. So they all say about the botanicals. So I dare say that first beer is the base, even though it's got adjuncts, and then the other 3 are aged on raspberries and blueberries and blackberries. So yeah, we'll try that normal one first, the spiced sour or whatever it's called, and go from there. Do a bit of a comparison. So it's the start of the weekend here, thank goodness. Be the first beer for the weekend. Got my crafty Cabal glass. They do a fair bit of work with Molly Rose, so I thought appropriate glassware. Let's give it a pour and see how we go. She's pretty lively. And I'll probably just go sort of half can of each, like I normally do with these sort of reviews. It looks about right. Oh, it's got a very nice aroma. I'll sit that there. Apologies for my slightly dirty glass. So yeah, the carbonation's very active. I would say colour is sort of like a burnt orange. It looks a bit darker on camera. It's probably like a medium orange, but yeah, it's got that sort of slight burnt touch to it. 1 finger head. Body, I would say light to medium. Yeah, it looks very spritzy. Let's go a whiff. Oh, I haven't had a beer like this for a while. This is going to hit the spot, especially with the fresh palate in the AM. So yeah, there's a lot of citrus there, like lemon and orange. It's got like dried grass, hay, straw. It's got that, yeah. There's a fair bit of like funk there, like saison quality. Touch of like pepper. Yeah, you're getting that like sort of bready, grainy character. I like to. It's like white bread and grain, so it's like multi-grain bread. Smells very fresh, very lively. Yeah, it's going to be really good to see the difference with the additions of fruit. But yeah, like if this is what it's like without the fruit, it's got plenty going on just on the aroma. Like if you were just to get this one by itself and you didn't know about the others, I think you still. I mean, I haven't tasted it yet, but just on aroma, it's very, very nice. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, guys. It's almost got like a candy orange, like an orange sherbety characteristic to it. Quite punchy, the citrus. Quite tart. Got some lemon zest. A little bit floral as well. I'd love to know the botanicals they've put in it. Because yeah, I'm not getting lime. Um, Australian, I think it's called finger lime. That's normally a popular botanical. Um, we've got quite a few sort of peppers. Lemon myrtle. I wouldn't be surprised if that's in there. It's got like it. The sweetness comes from the citrus, and like that, yeah, the bready note. But then it finishes quite dry. It's almost got like that sort of champagne dryness on the finish. Very, very nice. If I wasn't awake, I am now. Good way to start my Saturday. Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't say the botanicals on here. Just says, yeah, vermouth, yeah, farmhouse complexity. Hmm. I don't think there's any sort of notes I can pick out that I haven't sort of already commented on. But yeah, I like Molly Rose's can artwork. It's like simple but effective. They always have the silver and black cans now, and then they'll have like the little colourful label. Cheers, Drewy. Yes, I will be. I can't wait. I'm doing a 4 can review, and then who knows where I'm going from there. But yeah, this is like a blend series where there's like a spice sour ale and then 3 different fruit addition types. So looking forward to trying them all. It's awesome having a beer like this because I haven't had one for a while. These guys doing well. It's like good balance too, like the tartness, the sourness, the funk, like the sweet, the dry. You're getting like elements of everything. But yeah, I'll end up seeing what the adjuncts are, or the botanicals, and I'll be like, oh, either I missed that or I nailed that. Yep, yeah, this is only my first. I had a bit of a sleep in. I probably would have started earlier otherwise. But yeah, pretty knackered being back at work after a couple of weeks off. I've been sleeping a bit better. Oh, no good. Sorry to hear that, brother. Let's go on to the next. So I'll just do it in the order of the blend number, which, yeah, it's going to be funny because raspberry is normally my favorite fruit, like when it comes to additions, like raspberry or maybe lime. And I'm going with like my favorite first. Be interesting to see if there's much color difference. Yes, there is. That looks beautiful. So it's like you'd say like a crimson in colour. The head's gone pretty quickly on this one. Carbonation's pretty similar to the first. Slightly cloudy. And yeah, the body's the same, light to medium. I feel like this one's going to smell very nice. Oh, I love that smell of fresh raspberry. Give me raspberry any day over strawberry. Yeah, some of like the most epic sours I've tried over the years, I tend to lean towards strawberry. I'm sorry, raspberry. So because the raspberry is so strong, it's sort of taken over all the other notes. You still get that like bready, grainy character, but it's more like sweet raspberry now, slightly tart. I'm not getting like that funk as much, and it feels like it's not going to be as dry. But yeah, could be completely different on the palate. That color looks amazing though, and at least this one's accurate on camera. A lot of beers I drink aren't. So let's get into it. Cheers, guys. Oh, wow. Woo! That's mouth puckering sourness right there. That raspberry just goes on for days. Wow. If they're all like that, I'm going to have to get these beers again. You sip it, and initially it's like sweet and sour. and the raspberry's like huge, and then it just builds and builds and builds, and it goes on like it lingers, and then you just get this huge like sour like on the back of the palate, screw the face up sort of sourness. Oh, that's unreal. I can only imagine what the blackberry and blueberry are going to be like. But yeah, as I said, it's the same on the nose, on the palate. You're getting more sweetness, more sourness, and less of like the funk. So I'm still wondering whether the botanicals are like if the same botanicals are in this, like if it's in this as well, but then the fruit just hides a lot of that. It's going to be an interesting cuvee. Cheers, Keith. Good to see you, mate. Thoughts on the colour of my beer? I'm probably going to have a few different colours. Maybe a blue, maybe a purple. Oh, that raspberry is lush. So I feel like you still get just that faint touch of citrus, maybe from whatever hops they've used. Um, yeah, as I said, like the bready, sort of grainy character. I'm not getting the farmhouse funk and the like the sort of I'm not getting the peppery note I got and like that straw hay dried grass thing. It's definitely all about the raspberry in this one. Gorilla. Cheers, mate. Cheers, Gaffer. Good to see you, mate. Hope all's well in SA. How'd your St. Paddy's Day go, Keith? I'd love to spend a St. Paddy's Day in Ireland. It'd be so good. Cheers. So good just to be Saturday morning, just relaxing at home. You really take it for granted when you're on holidays and you can sort of just laze away every day, but you get back to work and then it's like, oh, when the weekend comes, it's just so friggin' good, just chilling. Yeah, bloody elections coming up. Have I asked you if you who you follow in the footy? I can't remember. Suppose I better get on to the next one, boys and girls. So yeah, raspberry, as I said, one of my favourite fruits. Absolutely love it in sour beer. So if they did it right, it was always going to be a winner. So very, very happy with that one. I really enjoyed the first beer, but they were very, very different. I think the addition of the fruit just like overshadows everything else. So we'll see how the other two go. The Crows. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of South Australians that were into AFL. Like they've got their own sort of like Sturt and Norwood and all those teams. But then they might have followed a VFL team prior to Adelaide and Port Adelaide coming in. So that's why it's always good to ask. But yeah, one thing with the South Australian teams, I've always liked them. Whereas yeah, WA, for some reason, I have a bit of hatred towards, especially West Coast. So, on to number two. Number three beer, but blend number two. So, this is the Blackberry. And as I said, 4.9. So, the first one without the fruit was 4.7, and all the rest are 4.9. Let's see what colour this one pours. Yeah. Oh, shit. Bit of spillage on this one. I feel like this is going to be purple. Oh, no, similar colour to the last. Probably a little darker. This one, I would probably say burgundy. I know burgundy and crimson are very similar, but I feel like burgundy's slightly darker. Good old Ron Burgundy. So yeah, head's gone on this one too pretty quickly. Light to medium body, bit darker, a bit more cloudy. Carbonations, yeah, lively. They're all sort of the same. And yeah, light to medium body. Oh my god, the fruit in this one's more punchier than the last. Oh god, man. So we've actually got actually it might be blueberry. We've got a berry farm in the Otways here, not far away. Got a feeling it's blueberry. I was like, oh, that smell would be amazing, like in the wet forest with like berries. Yeah, the first one did, but yeah, because of the addition of the fruit in these others, they're all the head's gone pretty quickly on them. Yeah. Yeah, as far as NRL goes, I was always a Sharks fan. And then obviously Melbourne Storm come in and being a patriotic Victorian, I had to go for them. So I still sort of have a soft spot for the Sharks. It's almost like I've got two teams. But if the Sharks play the Storm and I'm in Melbourne, it's like I'm probably going to go for Storm. I was a member of Storm for a few years. Then it was just too hard to get to games. They play a lot of like Mondays, and yeah, it's like if you're from the country, it's ridiculous. So yeah, this one's got that nice sweet and sour smell. I feel like the cuvee with the spice, the raspberry, the blackberry, and the blueberry is going to taste amazing. It could possibly be the best. So yeah, as I said, the blackberry smell is really, really like strong, more fierce than the raspberry was. But yeah, it's sort of the fruit's overshadowing everything else. You just get that sort of white bready backbone, slightly grainy, but just huge fruit. I'm going in. Cheers. Oh, they're very, very sour and tart. It's good. This is what a sour beer is meant to be, boys and girls. Cheers, Bill. Good to see you, brother. I'm drinking some mouth puckering wild ales. Very enjoyable. So it's like a base beer that had botanicals in it, like local Aussie botanicals, and then they've made 4 beers out of it. One's just the base with the botanicals, and then you've got one with raspberry, one with blackberry, and one with blueberry. I'm up to the 3rd one so far, and yeah, all beautiful beers. One thing I do find with this, the blackberry is very punchy, and like you've got that same like mouth puckering sourness, but the blueberry doesn't like keep building like the raspberry does. Sorry, I think I said blueberry, blackberry. The raspberry was just like, it like went on for days. Pardon the noise behind me. My dog is got a little scratch going on. Yeah, it's just sort of like real big, like bang in your face, blackberry, sour, tart, and then just sort of fades out. I still prefer the taste of the raspberry and the fact that it's so punchy and builds. So I can say so far that the raspberry one would be my favourite, but they're all very nice. It's just a shame you sort of lose the characteristics like underneath. So has anyone got any plans for the weekend? Or just going to be a hermit like me? I'm proud to be a hermit this weekend. I might possibly go to the city next weekend. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I've got to start saving for this little Sydney trip I want to do. Also got to ask for some time off work for that too because it falls to during the week. I have a handy public holiday at that time, so hopefully I only have to take 2 days off work. Off to Sydney. Woohoo! Pardon me. So yeah, the 2 fruit edition ones so far, you don't get that real dry finish like you did with that first one. So yeah, it's like the fruit just takes over. It's so like intense. Let's go to number 4. Blend number 3. Blueberry. Blueberry's always up there as one of my faves, so this will be interesting. So yeah, they're all got a similar colour to them. This one probably has more of like a purple touch to it, but I would still say that's like burgundy colour. Head's gone on that one straight away. Carbonation's sort of similar to the others. You would say light to medium body. It's quite like opaque. I wouldn't say opaque. It's not quite that extent, but yeah, quite quite hazy. You're not really seeing much through it. Here we go. Let's go a whiff. That's probably the nicest smelling out of all of them. It's a very nice aroma, like sweet blueberry. Just gives you like pastry sort of memories, like blueberry pie. I just always associate blueberry with like, yeah, like pastry, vanilla. Mmm, very desserty. Man, that smells amazing. Not sure how it'll be as far as that sour tartness goes, but the aroma is definitely number one. Yeah, just not getting any of the. You do get that like underlying sort of citrus character, possibly slightly like earthy, floral. But yeah, the last 3 beers, the funk just hasn't been there. Anyway, let's get into it. And I'm starting to feel a little buzzed. Ooh, yeah. It's not as like mouth puckering and sour as the others, but the flavour, yeah, it sort of lingers on like the raspberry did. It's like sweet, slightly tart blueberry. Yeah, it just sort of sits. It's like quite nice. So yeah, still got me like, I don't know, flabbergasted. What word do I use? As to whether that spice sour ale is the base and then the other three are off that with fruit additions, or this is the only one that has the botanicals and then they've just got the fruit added. Because, like, yeah, it just feels like a lot of the stuff I was getting in this one, I'm not getting in those other three at all. But, like, the way it's described is like yeah, this is the base one. The botanicals are in all of them. They've just got fruit added. So yeah, I'll have to look into it more. But all four beers are unreal. I would highly recommend trying the four together. But if you can only get one of them, they're all good, to be honest. I think I'd have raspberry on top, but that's just personal preference. Um, yeah, as I said, it's one of my favourite fruits. I absolutely love it in sour beer. It was very punchy, like mouth puckering sourness. The flavour just lingered on. The blueberry, the one I'm drinking now, would probably be second. And then I'd probably have the other two on a par at third. Like the straight version without the fruit addition was very like packed with citrus. So yeah, I almost got that vibe like there was botanicals in there, giving it a real like fruity note. So yeah, I just sort of wish now that I knew what the botanicals are and whether they're in all four beers or just that one. But yeah, that blueberry, one thing it reminds me of, you get a lot of Scandinavian beers like sours. And they use blueberry, and it's always like just that good level of sweetness and tartness, and I don't know, just sort of like it takes me back to drinking some of the really good Scandinavian beers. That's what it reminds me of. Like your excuse my hay fever. Yeah, your Omnipolo, your Lervig, your Mikkeler. Um, just when I sort of first started getting into craft and drinking some of that stuff. But yeah, as I said, the old cuvee of all four mixed together is going to make for a decent beer. What am I going to have for breakfast? That's the question. I wish I had bacon and eggs. There's actually a cafe here, and they only charge a couple of bucks delivery, and they do like a big breakfast. I'm like, ooh, maybe I should get it delivered. I could go on a beer panel, as in probably AKA Kent Beer Reviews. He'll be still going, no doubt. I think he's might be his birthday today or tomorrow. I just wanted to do this review first before I joined. That'd be pretty cool, just sitting there slinging beers, and then all of a sudden some breakfast rocks up. So yeah, as I said, now that I've finished all four, I would go that as number one, the raspberry. The one I just finished as number two. And then the blackberry and the standard spice probably on a par. I feel like I need to drink them again just by themselves, but I'll probably do that off camera. I want to do a cuvee though. Cheers, Disco. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, true. Good call. So yeah, let's do the old cuvee. I'll just do a little bit of each. I want enough to be able to taste them by themselves again. It's definitely going to be of a red complexion. Cuvee. So yeah, it sort of pours about what the raspberry poured by itself, like that crimson color, just due to the raspberry one itself, and then the lighter beer sort of balances out the color. So the other two were darker. We'll give it a little bit of a swirl. Oh man! Wow! Yes. See, now I'm getting the botanicals of that first one, and then just a mixture of berry. It's so good. Oh man, I feel like this is going to take the trophy. Cheers, Susie. Good to see you, mate. Just about to wrap it up. I've done 4 beer reviews, or as in the 4 beers in this review, and now I've just added them all together to see what it tastes like. It's all berries. Berry, berry, berry. Cheers, Ghost. You mangy mutt. Oh, man. I think that should be their next beer. I think they should have the Tank 5 Superman and just have them all combined. That is fierce. You're just getting a good balance of all 3 berries. You're getting that slight funk, like pepper. It's like sweet, but not too much. Very, very nice. Kube wins. And I feel pretty sozzled now. That'll learn me. Sleeping in, not having any breakfast. Straight into the beer review with 4 beers. It's fun though. It's very fun. Yeah. I'm going to say Kube is the master of them all. It's like Splinter. You've got all the turtles. They're all pretty awesome together, but Splinter comes along, takes the reins. That's good shit. I mean, I don't normally score beers when I do the reviews like this, but they'd all be in that sort of around that 4.25 mark. Some slightly higher, maybe some slightly lower. But yeah, if you got a, I don't know, the cuvee, if it was like all three berries with that spice, citrusy, yeah, like funky base, it'd probably be like 4.3, 4.4 out of 5. Very, very good. It's been an enjoyable side by side. Yeah. As I said, Molly Rose, they're in like a trendy residential area of Melbourne. Collingwood, a suburb I love, but the football team I hate. So yeah, if anyone ever sees stuff from these guys, give it a whirl. Good people too. I think they started. The husband was a brewer and the wife was a winemaker, and yeah, they sort of combined their powers and have made this awesome, mostly sour brewery. And yeah, apparently the restaurant's killing it. They've got a really good chef, and they do a lot of like food and drink combo like pairings. Yeah, so I definitely feel a little buzzed. So yeah, thanks for chiming in, folks. And yeah, I'll probably be around on, I'd say, on Craig's panel if he's probably got no room, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe another review later on in the day. But I'll be around all weekend doing some beer reviews and hanging out with other people. So yeah, thanks for the support, and we'll see you again soon.